This is the one day that we make fun of everything.
The theater company of our Jewish Community Center now brings you a true and historical presentation of the story of Purim.
Yo, what?
The story begins long ago in the country of Persia. King Ahasuerus, Hash to his friends, loves to play Go Fish with his pals. The pals' wives used to be very quiet and very obedient, but not lately.
Get yourself. Listen to
The
that.
king's advisors told him that Queen Vashti was the one putting all the independent ideas in their heads.
Yeah, she's vast. So what can I do about it? Sure, who's the boss? She already knows who's the boss. No, Ash, you're the boss of Vash. Me? Yeah. Really? Yeah.
Determined to prove to his pals that he really is the boss, King Ahasuerus sent Vashti an order he was sure she wouldn't refuse. But Vashti had ideas of her own about how to spend her time, and it didn't include dancing for the king and his buddies.
Number one. Get to the point.
The messenger performed the thankless task of delivering the king's message, but Queen Vashti was a strong-willed woman.
From Vash to Hash, I won't wiggle one little toe for those bums. And if you don't like it, you can get yourself a new queen. Now get out of here. That'll settle his half.
Meanwhile, back in the throne room, when the king heard Vashti's answer, he didn't waste any time looking for a new queen.
Boring.
But Mordecai, a wise old Jew, had just the girl for the king, Mordecai's niece, Esther.
And what's more, he's got the brains of a pigeon.
Actually, he's a sweetheart. Brains, I admit, well, that's not his strong point. Which is exactly why we need someone smart like you right next to him. Not everybody around here loves us Jews.
Okay, for you, my people, I'll do it. But I don't like it.
Mordecai arranged for Esther to meet the king,
Wow. She's the one.
and once he laid eyes on Esther, the contest was over. Not everyone loved the king. In fact, some wanted to murder him. But Mordecai seemed to find out everything that was going on. His problem was getting word to the king.
Here are the names of the murderers. Make sure my warning is written down in the big book of records. The king won't remember for 2 minutes that I saved his life.
The man who really ran the kingdom, the power behind the throne, was Haman. He expected everyone to bow down to him.
Oh, man, stand up and bow down before Haman.
Haman. Very nice. For such a main man, well, I'll stand up.
Now bow down.
Sorry, that I cannot do.
What's the matter? You got an aching back, old-timer?
Mordecai explained to Haman that Jews would never bow down to a man, only to their God.
I've heard of you Jews and your invisible God in the sky. Who wouldn't have? When I'm done with you, you won't need to bow down anymore. You'll be flat on your backs permanently.
Haman had a plan, an evil one to get rid of the Jews. He told the king that there were some troublemakers in the kingdom, and he asked, very innocently, what should be done about them. The king, whose mind was someplace else, told Haman to do what he pleased. Haman's plan was to send soldiers to kill every Jew in the kingdom. But when? To pick the date, they threw stones which landed on the 12th and 13th squares. And so it was decided that in the 12th month, on the 13th day, all the Jews would be murdered. The news of Haman's horrible plan got out, and the cries of the terrified Jews filled the night. Esther sent her trusted servant Hatash to Mordecai to find out what was going on. Esther was afraid to go see the king. Anybody who popped in and surprised him could be instantly killed by the king's guards.
Tell her I know she'll be risking her life. If the king fails to hold out his golden scepter, the guards will give her the axe. But if she tries to save herself, the Jews will all be killed.
Queen Esther was very nervous about seeing the king, but she was determined to do what she could for her people.
Let her go. Esther, honey, Queenie, come on down. What can I do for you? I thought I'd give a little dinner party, and you and Haman are invited to come.
Esther knew that the best way to a man's heart was through his stomach, and the king was no exception. She had a big favor to ask of him, but she decided to give one more dinner party before popping the question.
Only one thing, gracious Majesty. Could you and Lord Haman come again tomorrow night? Then I promise I'll have a very special recipe for Lord Haman.
The king ate so much that he couldn't sleep. He called for his secretary.
I thought I told you not to call me in the middle of the night.
I need a bedtime story. I can't sleep.
The secretary read the whole story of the two men who tried to murder the king and how Mordecai saved the king's life.
Gee, that Mordecai is an okay guy. I wonder if I ever thanked him.
Ahasuerus asked Haman the best way to give someone a very special thank you. Guess who Haman thought the king wanted to thank? Haman said that Ahasuerus should give the man the king's own best clothes to wear, put him on the king's best horse, and parade him through the streets.
Your Majesty, it does me too much honor. Besides, I haven't finished my writing lessons.
Haman! You won't be on the horse, idiot. You'll do all the hollering. The one of the best horse on the best suit will be Mordecai.
Huh? When I'm done with that, I believe you. The only thing that he'll be running is a hangman's noose.
But Mordecai did ride in the king's parade, and Haman was forced to publicly honor him.
Behold, this is a man who the king delights with honor.
That was even more delicious than last night. There must be something I can give you. How about a golden skateboard? No, a lifetime supply of bubble gum.
There is one thing, my lord.
Goody, name it.
You could save my life. See, an order has been given to kill me.
What? Who dare do that? Nobody can kill my wife but me.
Lord Haman has given the order to kill all the Jews on the 13th of Adar. I am a Jew, and so is my uncle Mordecai, the man you honored. He wants to kill us and all of our people.
This was the first time that the king really understood the evil nature of Haman's plan. The king had Haman executed. He appointed Mordecai as his new main man. Queen Esther had saved the Jews of Persia, and we've celebrated ever since.